Hey everybody. I want to talk about friendships and the Matrix. Little two in one, eh? So I'll do a little bit of that. Hey buddy, you're gonna have to wait. There's not much here for you. But good timing to talk about friendships. So he comes landing here. Can I have a little bit of sunflower? Buddy just rocked up. Or just give me a little bit of mixed seed if you want to. It should be in there. Oh, hang on. The sunflower's over here. It's over here. I got it. But can you just do a little scoop? Half a scoop. These pigeons down here. Oh, he's taken off. Probably don't worry about it at the moment. Don't worry about it at the moment. Because it is at the end of the day. I thought I'd help them out, but when it comes to the glass, they don't have patience. Those type of friends. Either get something, they're quick with what they do. So they're out of here. When it comes to the cockies, they get angry. And they have another way of being, as nature does. So I'll talk about friendship first. Why does it always cost to have friends? What do you mean by that? People say, doesn't cost to have me. It always costs to have friends. It costs to fit into a culture as well. A way. Everything has a cost. Just like Gaza, they fitted into Gaza, certain people, they were just farmers doing their own thing, not involved in anything. But they had a cost because of the culture they're in, the society. Okay? And they cut the cost. So everything adds up. So you try to be in the best society, this, and this, and this. Because everything has a cost, right? Including friends. And some friends want more than others. Some believe they're worth more than others, as they might be good looking, tough, or smart, right? Or just think they're worth more. The world revolves around them, those type of people, all that kind of stuff. And you pick out what you fit into or what you can stand, right? When it comes to friendships. When it comes to friendships and farmers and animals, they don't have a decent friendship a lot because farmers need money, and in this economy, in a lot of their economies, they need to make sure things are right, otherwise they fail. Humans have such economies, they're like an engine. If certain areas don't succeed, they will fail. And so with that pressure, they create enemies, like animals. That's how I sort of see it. Or a balance could be out of whack. It all depends. But a lot of times when it comes to animals, friendship, you'll have to find out how that connection is going to be. And I want to talk about birds, as that's the latest one I've recorded for people to understand. So when it comes to connecting with birds, you've got to understand that everything wants something for a reason. If you're connecting to something that doesn't really want you, it can go somewhere else. You're going to have to connect harder, which is me connecting with the birds until I decide not to connect anymore. And hopefully when I do that, I don't retaliate by being their enemy, which a lot of people would do when they lose connection. It's like a relationship. They can't become friends afterwards kind of thing, as they've done things that hurts each other too much and all that kind of stuff. So when it comes to the connection with these guys, I've talked about it before. I've come out with fights. They fight amongst each other. They learn rules, as I've talked about, how the birds are starting to learn where they need to be in this environment of connection. As I've come out and talked to them and got involved with them to help them out of what they need to do. And birds watch and learn, and if you watch some docos, you can see that they can even talk language and all sorts of things, which takes a bit of brains. There goes Buddy now, flying over. Maybe he's just doing a double check. And he's like, oh yeah, he does that a lot. Flies around, goes, says hello. So when it comes to connections to these birds, I've got to see every bird has a different connection. Every bird has a challenge. It's different friends, different culture, different relationships. All have a challenge. What I can do is I can push them out, I can attack them, I can make what they need to know about me, about my challenge, or I can connect and go with it for a certain amount. How far does that balance go? Too many birds, too many problems, too many chaos, too much, can't do anything. Well, I'm going to have to do something. And that's what balance is. And that's when you can talk and go, well, this is too much. I've tried this and this. I can't function with these. They're not allowing me to function. They're not allowing me to farm, right? And so I'm going to have to cut down the balance. And that's okay. That's all I'm doing. I'm not saying I hate birds. I'm not saying I hate this and want to eradicate it or anything. I'm just putting back to the balance, right? So we can once again connect, flow, right? That's what can happen if there's too much of too much. Everything has a balance, right? And it can happen. Right? And when that happens, as you kill the balance, if you do it certain ways, you'll find that it can fix the problem to help balance. As I kill, it'll help get me finance, get back on track. The numbers are low, back on farming. You see that balance? Right? But it makes sure that it has to be a proper balance and a fair balance. And the way, if you had to die, how would you do it? Right? Aliens rock up and said about this balance that you understand and do, and that you turn into robots that the algorithm is understanding you to do. That's what will happen. They'll rock up here where there are too many birds. I guess we need to be culted, wouldn't we? How would you like to be culted? What would be fair to you? It has to be done. Like you talk about with this theory. And they're here to help everything on this planet. Say they put us all here. We've got theories about that. Right? How would that happen? You would see, or would that be culted? I guess want to be gas, have a final meal. How would you want it? That's fair then. You see, that's the best you can do with the education, the tools and the things you have around you. So with my connection at the moment, I'm getting better. I put up some plants a few days ago, right? The last few days. And some freshies. And so far since then, today's damage, a couple of sunflowers. So we're going to have a little bit of a gap. I might move some over there and bring it more forward as I'm planting some more seeds for backup and for a little bit extra spots, which I'm about to do. Because of collateral damage. And it doesn't always happen. Just like humans, they have ups and downs. They might have had a bad day of the game, bad moment, just something to say. Right? And they do things that they don't normally do. If there's food around, right, you've got the supply, then you'll find out that the damage doesn't happen, because it depends. If the supply's there and the damage is happening, well, they've got something else to say. They're either being like a human, they're just doing it because they can, or they've got a point to say, right, or something like that. Right? And then they'll get an outcome. When they do that, I'll come out, tell them off. They go, we have had little tiffs with them, right? And they understand. And they get to know you. And cockies are good at that. They're one of the smartest birds. They look at you with their little lizard eyes. You can tell where they're looking and stuff. Not like with pigeons and that. It's hard to tell where they're looking and what they're doing. And so what I have to do is you got to take it. See, I've got them. I've caught them here. And now I'm seeing what damage, how they act, and do I want them, right? And how can I act with them now that they're here, right? And I've made them here. They've always been here. Now I've shown them that I'm here and that what I've got, right? As well as we're in this nature and this balance of freedom with everything, and we've got to try to learn. And so they understand when I come out, or I'm out here not to do anything. When I'm out here, nothing bad happens. They actually listen to me. See that pile right there? Oh, and I was doing something for a minute. They rocked up. There was no food. They had the little tiffs. I heard them. I said, I'll be with you in a minute. And in that time, they do certain things. Now that I allow them to do, as I stand out here and I don't tell them off. What they'll learn is when I'm out and I don't do nothing, they'll learn that either he's given up, or this is what we can do. It's like us. It's how we learn. And they learn the same way. I've seen the change. Right? I'm trying to video it for you the best I can. And they know they can get the wheat. The wheat grows. It's going to die off anyway. It needs to be trimmed. I'm going to trim it. Right? Things are going to be put around it. It's a time. It's a moment. They're enjoying it. That's what life is. Right? And I'm having them something to enjoy, to come as well, besides the bully. Right? And they also knocked off a couple more of the succulents again. But this time, and last time I already told them off, I've come out. They didn't take off this time. They stayed, and I talked to them, and I picked them up, and I showed them the succulents, and showed them plants, say the succulent, and then I put them in the pile. Right? And I told them, I don't know if they understood, but they did it. Told them, you use the pile there of succulents. Don't go in more of those plants. Right? And leave it over here, and over here, and over here, and over here, and then go get a freshie. There's the pile. I want that pile to be damaged and used up in the next few days before I see you getting any more succulents. Right? Because the succulents there to help, and I'm here to help. Just don't want to destroy. I also like looking at them. Right? And then I put a pile there. And they went back to the pile and ate from the pile. After pointing and showing. Right? I've got a little video of it in the other camera, but it's full. And it died off as I was talking to someone on the phone at the same time. Right? And so that's what happened there. And so that's what we do. We get along. And as these grow and get bigger, they get harder to attack and stuff like that. But a cocky can attack anything. But they do like to chew on young succulent inside. So when they attack, they pick on these specific things they attack. Right? And so you just learn. Then you learn to get into that balance. Now, when it comes to the Matrix, have you ever heard of the Matrix? Right? And the religion, there's a religion out there, I've heard in America, that they actually religion that shit and study it and say it's pretty much true and we could be in it. They're studying it like we actually could be in the Matrix, right? Because you study theories and way of getting through that theory to live, because it's a theory, like religion. It's a religion. That's what a religion is. We're trying to study what's real. Doesn't mean we're studying it or we know. Doesn't mean we do it, right? And so when it comes to the Matrix, that can be looked at different ways. In that show, they say we could be in a game, and that's why algorithms and certain things work, because it's like a computer. We're one big computer, right? And in a way, that could be true, right? Everything could be in a matrix. The matrix could be within a matrix. If that shit is true, that's how deep it can go, right? When it comes to the matrix. And you can believe that way and function if you do, as long as you're not going crazy. Because whatever you're studying, if you go crazy, you'll believe that it is, the outcome is craziness and not good and make you crazy, then you either need to leave or stop that study. Right? You don't need that outcome. Everything's an outcome. Right? And so when it comes to the matrix, that you can look at a different way. So besides being controlled by robots, what's another way of being like in the matrix, but not in the matrix, but you're in a matrix? What does he mean? Well, it's like, it's real world. Say it's before the Matrix. Right? You're in the real world, as they talked about the robots and the robot war and all that in the Matrix, right? So in the real world, before the Matrix, and we have computers, and we have greed and envy and all this, and everyone wants the best, everyone wants the outcome, everyone wants to nearly be like that lady in Indiana Jones that goes, I want to know, right? So I can somehow get power, because she talks about power, right? They're Russians. It's all about power. She doesn't want to know to end her life, because once you know her theory of everything and stuff, what's the point of living, right? If the game's a game and you got the theory, like looking into the future, then what's the point of playing the game? You already know the outcome. You want to waste your time? You can waste your time. Something to do, right? And so when it comes to the Matrix, before the Matrix, you would see such things like humans turning into a robot. How does a robot get power? Well, you algorithm everything. Algorithm everything. See if humans can keep up with algorithms. See, the farmers wouldn't have to keep up. See, the farmers are sort of starting to use algorithm and marketing, right? And what they do is they go, I've got a block of land. What can I use? I'm not a farmer. Farmers should be a government kind of thing. Nearly, definitely if you have food problems, the government should take over. And they used to be, back in the days of kings and queens, the governments used to make sure the farming was good, at least to a certain sector, right? And so when it comes to the farming, which is capping off prices and keeping on prices, because it can create what gets grown, right? And then when you look on the market today with algorithms and everything, a farmer gets on the internet, all right, I've got this land, I can grow anything on it, I can get some materials, I've got this little investment I just finished off, what can I use this investment to make more money? I heard my farmer up there, he's making a killing off his farm, why can't I do what he's doing? Do I do what he's doing? Can I do that with the money I've got? How do I start this? Because the market says that this plant only gives me 5 cents a plant, but that plant there will give me $5 a plant. So I guess I'll do that. But then later on, everyone will flood the market because they all want to get rich and be like that neighbour, and we'll all have too much of this. And then all of a sudden, that one's going down. That's why you see the markets go up now, because they don't run the markets how it's meant to run. They run it by envy and greed and who needs what too much, right? And money. Mostly about money and greed, right? And they run that, not what needs to be done. And the government stays out of it, loopholes. No one knows where to fix it, I do. Right? And so is that a few other people, if you put them all together. We've got the answers, but they don't happen, which I've talked about. Right? And you do one step at a time, and once you've done it, within 4 years, you should solve a lot of problems. Countries can solve themselves in 8 years and 12 years, right? Be completely different. But if you have a country that runs around, you might look back on them and see just the same run around for 12 years. Right? That's where you can see problems, where inflation lies and certain things, it all adds up. Right? And certain people have bigger spots where they failed than others to cause issues for all of us. And so what the farmer does is they all try to do the same thing, the market gets flooded, and then they've got to change again. And then you might hear these stories about when they change, different crops and flowers need different different land, right? They're not going with the land anymore. They're going with the people for what they need. Of course, they all need tomatoes, but they're going for the cost. I'm not going to do tomatoes. I know we need the need, but the need's not gone up in that price yet. And that's what causes inflation. You see? Oh, shit, is that what it is? Well, we'll put tomatoes up. Well, there you go. There goes inflation now. You see? When it comes to trying to all be the same, too connected, all trying to be the same, doesn't work. No government involved. No one's ruling it, controlling it. The government allows the companies to market it, as they've been talking about lately, trying to now get back into it because of that problem. Right? And so hopefully the government will be fixing this problem soon, right? By making things all equal in certain areas that people really need when it comes to health. When it comes to what should be growing, or what should humans really need? A mixed balance? We'll make that mixed balance equal cost, right? Besides how much it costs to grow it, right? It's a balance between how much it create, profit, and what we need, equal cost, right? When it comes to that. Anyway, back off to that, to the matrix. Now the matrix, right, gets you all on these algorithms. In the end, if an algorithm tells you how to do something better, then what are you for? Then you become a robot, right? And then when you do all these algorithms and become the one, you become the Borg, you become everything's the same, and you only use these things. And then you hit a point where you know everything and you go out there and you can control and dominate everything, like the Borg. Have you ever seen that Star Trek show with the Borg in it? Yeah? That's how you can create it. And then you create these problems and wars and stuff like that are happening now, and inflation, because these algorithms are taking over. Now, what makes an algorithm even worse? When you have all the apps and all that kind of stuff, and you have to get it, and the only way to get it is to sign these contracts to get the features that everyone wants. They force you to sign a contract so they can listen to you with AIs that all adds up. They all have all these AIs that use information with algorithms. And say, everything you speak on your telephone right now, prove me wrong, because I already know some people are talking about it, and it's right. And it's why it'll also cause more bad inflation when it comes to the small businesses and everything like that, because the big ones always win with their algorithms, and they can get there first, they've got the money first. You get it? They're going to kick ass, and they're going to make things worse for the hard, when we're already talking about that we need to be more educated, but yet we're throwing out AIs that are over-educating, right, in areas that shouldn't even be happening. Only for the government. As far as I'm concerned, if AIs use it, it should be government equalisely sharing the AI information, right? And doing the same thing so they can equally balance things out. Perhaps when the AI listens in and takes information to help us all need information, it still rewards where it takes it from. But at the moment, the AI is allowed to take what it wants and quickly give you, whoever owns another AI who's listening to, say, me through this device, as they do, so they can market to you better, as they say. They use these little loopholes to make it look like that they're doing the right thing for you, but they're actually not. And if you look at the long run, it's actually causing a big problem, right? And that AI, here's what my ideas, what I've got to say, my video clips. It can do all this really quick and then quickly tell you, the business, other person, this is where you need to head. I've heard this, this, and this, and that. You've got to quickly do it, right? Otherwise, you're going to miss out. That person's going to do it. So they steal it from you. Imagine that on a mass scale. Right? So the big businesses will be getting all the ideas, all the AIs to steal everything. Right? They won't have to know. They just take it. And you can do that. Tell me you can't. If I had an AI who can hear you, you can't tell me that my AI can program it behind the scenes even, right? Program it to listen to you and take your ideas and give them to me. Then I put them out. Then I go, it's just a coincidence. I go, we all have ideas. I go, don't you love human loopholes? You see? As if they say that, things don't get investigated. Another loophole. Things get away with. These people have it all worked out. And so in the end, it's the robots that win. Right? And then they algorithm to you to be perfect. You get bored and be useless. What happens when you feel like you're useless? You have no purpose of life. Right? We don't have robot brains, so if we can compete, it's like the man competing in a woman's competition because he cut his dick off, right? But he has all the muscles and still a man. You might as well have men competing with women then, right? He might say that he's lost some muscles or something, but the proof, we can't really prove that, right? And in most proof of the pudding they're winning, and the proof is there, right? That they're racing men. Hey, Frankie! But anyway, yeah! Oh yeah, man! You do what you do out there, and believe what you need to believe when it comes to the Matrix and how the Matrix can be seen. Everything can be seen in different ways. Depends on how you perceive it with the education that you have, right? If you're not educated in certain ways, you can be tricked and not have things right. Is why we try to educate in the rightest ways. When it comes to connection and getting things right, that's when we have balance. We do have rules to keep these balance. Like I said, in the end, too much of anything will lose its freedom. So we try to keep the balance and create so we don't have to kill. See, if I knew somehow that I could feed for a while these guys some food, so a half of them won't have babies, I won't have to kill them. They will slowly die off like us humans do to ourselves. And they get to live and nothing gets to get killed. You see, with knowledge and balance, there needs to be no really death if you do it quick enough and early enough. Isn't that right, Frankie? Which I've talked about before. Are you quick enough, smart enough, early enough? Is your priorities that? Or is it, let's see, get an AI to work out everything for you so your life becomes no priorities? What do you reckon? No purpose. Hey, Frankie, right now, me trapped at home, can't argue the things that have made me trapped at home as the law is just is and they've picked what they are. I have to get used to my new environment and my friends and the way I want to connect. Isn't that right? And one thing, good thing about animals is they don't have laws to throw at you or say just is. They tell you what just is and you can make your decision. That's what we do about countries, isn't it? And that's why I've made a decision about what I need to do when I can do it. Like people do in countries if they need to move, save, or do whatever. You fit in where you fit in, hey, Frankie? Hey? Yeah! Anyway, I'm going to get Frankie a bit of bread if he wants it. But usually he's here just to tell everybody that he loves his place. Don't you, Frankie? Yeah! I'm going to have a suckling or two, scream or two. You got that? Hear that echo? Oh, he's telling that. Oh yeah, he's telling the whole place, aren't you, Frankie? Hey, in my body, in my body. He a good friend. He equalises, doesn't he? Yeah. We have our chuffs, but we still keep on trucking. Hey, yeah. As I have a benefit, and you have a benefit for me too, hanging out. Because loneliness is not a good thing. Is it? Anyway, I'm going to go grab some bread. You guys have a good one. Put a little bit out of you. Might just be hungry. If not, can stay there till the morning. But sometimes he just does his thing and takes off. They all like to say the little bubbles, like that little baby there that comes out and flies around me a bit when I come to feed. As connection brings balance. And loving relationships more when it comes to those things. You save them time, right? They might spend a little time on you. Right? Balance. Or wait, and all that kind of stuff. Without getting angry. You don't want to wait when you don't have no reason to wait or should wait. But anyway, have a good one. And hopefully we're not in a matrix already. So being in a natural matrix, like we are now, you'll have algorithms and you won't be able to do the old normal things. And everything can be explained by algorithms and it just is. And that's the way it functions. And get with the program. Right? You become in a matrix. No one can do anything an AI allowed to you. You're not left anymore. No purpose. Just a tool. Could be in a matrix. So don't put yourselves in there. Because what are we here for? We're here to learn. Right? God doesn't want you to know it all. Because if it all is, we'll bring it all back into the one synchronized one. We'll finish it up. No, we can't yet. Because other planets are still doing it like that. Maybe your planet will just come to an end. Do you want to get there that quick? Do you want to be that lazy? Why don't people go out much anymore? Is it because of all the insurance claims that I've talked about before? Everyone wants to be rich. Is it because people all want to do the same thing? Are we turning into that one robot? It's good to be one, but can we be one and different? Or is one to all be a clone? You let me know in comments what you think and where we're heading. And have a good one. And chuck out some theories for us. But you know what? You know what YouTube's good for? You got to get to the algorithm. You got to do what they're doing. Otherwise, You could be on YouTube, and I've heard some good singers and all sorts of stuff. Depends on your content too, so it doesn't matter about content. I put thousands of clips out, so it's not a content thing. Someone can have just a couple of hundred and get somewhere because they're doing what the algorithm asks them to do so they can be seen, right? You know how it all works. And so it's not real reality anymore. It's what they make your reality to be. And bugger that, eh? Have a good one, everybody. And yeah, you let me know in comments if you believe the same thing. As far as I know, it takes a long time to get anywhere for real without an algorithm now. And to show your point, which is sad because the algorithm thinks they can either steal this information and do it in a better way, or it doesn't care, right? It's not important, and then you can't get important information out on YouTube, could you? And if you do the same thing on TikTok, it can be similar, right? Unless you've already got the algorithm up and the numbers up, your voice is meaningless. So these people with these badges in these areas, if you want to know where the problem lies at and where it all adds up, it's them equally, right? And the rich and so on. Why the money's all taken up and they keep wanting to hold the monopoly money and looking good. Why the economy's collapsing as it needs the money that it makes to spread around so people can keep making its money, right, in certain ways. But the people who rather not think about the economy and just think about money, rather hold it in themselves and how cool they look, keep holding it as their right, which is in a way, but it's not equalising to the world, is it? Where we have these super big differences in bubbles, and that economy is allowed, their economy, the power of the people can be controlled in the background by the power of the companies, of the big money, the rich people, right? And that's what happens if you have rich people. In the end, it's not the people's power anymore. They're actually controlled by the businessman. He will say a little bit like, I know I'm being a bit unfair, but just do it, otherwise you'll lose your job, right? You're in a matrix. Where's your freedom? They all become like that. The reason is that. Have a good one and see you later.